everyone, it's Cheryl from Teaching 2 and 3-year-olds. We are starting our apple theme, which of course we do every fall. And so I thought today I would share some of the activities that we will be doing. So for all the things that I'm going to share with you today, make sure to check this video's description. I'm often asked, where are your links? They're all in this video's description. Just check down below and you will find them all. But today I'm really excited to share some fun activities that we will be doing. First of all, let me share my planner here. This is what we need to fill out each week. So I just show here that for our circle time, we are going to be reading apple books, and we're going to be doing Way Up High in the Apple Tree, which I'll share in a little while. We will be doing, we'll be singing songs from our October playlist, which I will share with you in a moment. And then it just goes through everything else: sensory bin, what we're going to do for fine motor, writing table, block area, dramatic play, easel, light table, art, science, and then our closing circle. So as far as our circle time, if you were with me last year at this time, you remember that I was virtual teaching. And that's when I started creating these props, these circle time props, which I would send home, some for the children, and then I would have them. And that way, as we were connecting through the screen, we were holding the same thing. And it was so successful that of course I decided to keep doing it in the classroom. And so I made enough here that comes in green, red, and yellow. So I will have one of each color to hold, and then the children will each have a different color. So we will use these when we sing our apple songs, when we read our apple books, and then we'll probably do a little color activity where I ask them what color they have. I'm even thinking I might hide these around the room, and then I'll have them go on a hunt to find them and bring them back. I love doing that during circle time to get them up and moving. So these are a free printable that's on my website. Again, that link is in the video description. And another thing that we'll be doing during circle time is Way Up High in the Apple Tree. I realize that you might be seeing a glare off this, and that's because I laminated it, because I like to use these year after year. But what it is, this is part of one of our props that's in our brand new song and rhymes packet that's on Teachers Pay Teachers. So if you haven't gotten that one yet, check out the link in the video description. But basically there is a sheet that has the tree, and then you have apples up to 5, and then we also have apples that have the dots representing each number as well. So it's your choice how you want to do this. And then what I did was I put Velcro tabs on the sheet and also on the apple, so that as we're singing the song, then I can remove the apples. And then what I wanted to do, but you can just hold this if you want, but I wanted this to be on a flannel board, so I put Velcro on the back of my flannel board, on the back of the tree, and then it sticks to my flannel board. So this is a fun way to do this. You could also turn this into a table activity by looking at the numbers, and then finding the apple that has that dot and putting it on top. So that's another, I like to have many different ways of using my printable. So this could also be a table activity where you count how many dots are on each apple and you match it to the number on these apples here. So this is going to be a fun circle time activity. As those of you know, I love to use props during circle time, and I've been creating more. And again, this one is part of our Song and Rhymes Volume 2 pack. We have Volume 1, which is our most popular packet on Teachers Pay Teachers. Now we have Volume 2. Oh, and one more thing. I made an extra set of the numbered ones, because you can also give each child a number and they can match it to the apple on the tree. There's lots of different ways you can use this. So that is, again, something that we're going to be doing during circle time. And then of course we have our books. We have Peppa Pig Goes Apple Picking, and we have Eat 'em Up Apples. We have Pat the Bunny at the Apple Orchard. We have 5 little apples, which you could use that printable prop with this book as well. I just now thought of that. And we have the book Apple. So these are some books that we will be looking at this week. And then as far as songs, I have my phone, I'll have my Bluetooth speaker. I will check out the songs that are in our October playlist. There's some Apple songs in there. And I'm going to be seeing if I can find more to add to it. This is a public playlist that I have created that is, here it is right here, that you can also go to Spotify and you can download it also if you'd like, or you can just search through and see the songs and try them out in your classroom. I have the links to this, to all of my Spotify playlists in this video's description. And then one of our fine motor activities is going to be our Apple Pom-Pom color matching. Now this is part of our Apple packet. This is also on Teachers Pay Teachers. It comes with this activity. Here's another activity that goes with it. These are 1 to 10 counting cards. The children can put them in order, either 1 to 5, 1 to 10, depending on where your children are at. They can also take a pom-pom and put it on top to count the pom-poms to put on it. And it also comes with this Apple counting clip, so they count how many apples, they recognize the number, and they clip it right on that number there, so on 3. So this is also part of the packet. There's also an apple seed counting. I don't have it here, but that's part of the packet as well. So that's our Apple packet. That's been selling really well the last couple of weeks. I will drop a link to that in the description as well. But back to this activity, there are 3 sheets. So you have red, green, and yellow. And then the children I just pull out the matching pom-poms. I'll put these in little trays, and they'll just put the pom-poms, they'll match them right on top of each spot here. So it's a good one-to-one correspondence activity. For younger children, they can just use their fingers, but you can add more of a fine motor challenge by giving them either some bug tongs that they could put them onto it, or they could use tweezers. So I like to be able to take my activities to different levels, so that's a way that you can add some more fine motor there. And another activity that we are going to be doing that helps with our fine motor is put the apples on the tree. This is a free printable that is on my website. They can use do-it-dots, red do-it-dots, and they can just stamp them right on their page. Another good fine motor activity is to use apple stickers, and they can take the apple stickers off and stick them onto the apple tree, or you can even just use red circle stickers, which I have a lot of those as well. So that's another extra fine motor activity that we have. As for art, we have a lot of different art activities that you can do with apples, but for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know that I prefer to do my activities, try to make it as open-ended as possible. So I am going to share links to a few different ways I've used this printable with a process art method where we've done shaving cream and red paint, and they've made prints and they've pressed them on. We've rolled red paint onto bubble wrap, and then we've pressed the apple down on that. There's a couple other ones. Again, I'll drop the links to those. And so that's what we're going to be doing some of those this week. Another thing we're going to be doing that I absolutely love is our apple stamping. And we've done that, and I put it on the blog, so I'll put that link in the video description. But basically, you cut the apple in half, and I even carve a little handle into it, and they dip the apple into paint, and then they stamp it onto the apple paper. If you don't want to use the apple paper and you just want to use regular paper, that's fine as well. But this is a free template, free printable that I have on the blog. Again, I have the link is in the description. Another thing we're going to do is I thought about, our children have absolutely loved painting in the 3-dimensional. They love painting, like they've been painting farm animals and cars. So I thought I'd just keep going with that. And we have some apples, some pretend apples in our dramatic play area. I'm gonna lay them out on a big sheet of paper on our art table and let them paint them. They just love that. And then if they want, then I'll take this apple printable, set it into a box lid with high sides or some kind of a container. They'll drop their painted apple into the container and they'll roll the whole container around, which will then leave paint tracks on the apple. Then what we're going to do is a fine motor activity where we take those apples that have paint on them and we take them over to our water table with brushes and we scrub them. So they're then going to clean the apples that they painted. We did that with our farm animals. So that is one of our activities for this week. Now, again, if you are looking for ideas for your fall themes, we've done the work for you. I always love to share lesson plans that I helped create with some other early childhood educators and homeschoolers. And so we have a pack that is for, there's 20 different fall activities for toddlers in this pack, and then we have 24 fall activities in this pack for preschoolers. And they cover a wide variety of skills, and they're easy to read, and each activity comes with a supply list and step-by-step instructions. So I will drop the links to these fall lesson plans in this video's description. And so as far as the activities that we have for in our other areas of our classroom, on our light table we have red, yellow, and green apples, and these came from our attribute apple set. And then I have red, green, and yellow sorting bowls so they can sort the apples, and then we also put a scale on the light table so they can weigh them as well. Over on the easel, we have our apple printable that I just shared. It's a freebie on the blog. And then we are going to use red paint and green paint, and we're going to use cotton swabs. I love using cotton swabs because they are a great way to work on fine motor skills, and they make more deliberate motions using them. So that is what's going to be happening on the easel. In the sensory bin, I have brown dyed rice, and I have these little fabric apples that I got a few years ago, and I put those in with the dried rice, and then we have pom-poms that the children can sort in the sorting bowls. Over on the science table, we are showing the life cycle of the apple, and then again, the children can sort the apples. This is a free printable that's on my website. I'll drop a link in the description. And then we also have some apple books. And another thing we're going to be doing is actually cutting into a real apple so we can see what it looks like. In our dramatic play area, we are pretending to bake with apples. So we have our mixers, and we have our pretend eggs, and we have mixing bowls and spoons, and we have a basket of pretend apples. Over on our writing table, we have a apple stencil, and then we also have our apple page, and then we have blank pages of paper as well. And in our block area, we have our Duplos. And as I've said in previous classroom setups, not everything in our classroom is theme related. I'm also looking at what I think they're interested in, and we haven't introduced the Duplos yet this year. So I thought that would be fun to put over there. And here is how you can see the classroom. When we walk in, there's our science area with our apple life cycle. And come around the corner. There is our reading area and our writing area. We have our sensory bin, and we have our block area. We have our easel, and we have our light table. We have table activities. We have our dramatic play area. We have our water table for our apple washing, which we will actually pull away from the wall once class starts. So that's how we have our classroom set up for our apple theme. Again, make sure to check the video's description for links to previous classroom setups, as well as some great resources on my website. And I will talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.